Hello, everyone. My name is Chase Summer, and I need a haircut. My wife always likes to point out that the VR headsets always give me a reverse mohawk. So yeah. But yeah, I'm Chase Summer, and I am the architect of the Delegati, a VR esports organization. Feel free to join us in the link below. But yeah, I wanted to talk about a game that I have enjoyed, and it's very new. It's great, and it's called the Larcenauts. It's kind of people refer to it a lot as the VR Overwatch. I think that's about 60% correct. It's a pretty good comparison. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite VR competitive games. And so I wanted to go through it and give an introduction. I'm still relatively new to the game, but also the game has only been out for 3 months now, so I guess everyone's somewhat new. But yeah, I want to run through. First of all, I'd like to just kind of read the press release, kind of the description, the inspiration, what to expect in the game, and then we're gonna hop in game. I'm gonna give you a quick overview of the lobby and all those things to help you get a feel for the what to expect and give you some helpful tips and such like that. And yeah, so as I read this, there's going to be gameplay running through the background of me. I'm playing Chi. That's probably one of my favorite characters. And yeah, so let's get into it. So, Larcenauts. Let's, the soul of the game. So it's a heart pounding. Alexa just said something, and so I'm going to wait. Alexa, stop. I'm keeping that in the video. Heart-pounding thrills in majestic locales. Locales? Heart-pounding thrills in majestic locales. Concerted mayhem and lawless mischief. Welcome to the turn system. At the crux of Larcenauts is a light-hearted take on multiplayer hero shooters. An authentically diverse cast of larger-than-life characters and a level of immersion only possible through VR. Set in the lawless corner of the Ludus galaxy, Larcenauts brings players together to run, gun, and grapple with friends in virtual space. All of this combines into an experience that is uniquely fun and enjoyably or joyfully unique. And I can agree that it is unique, it's fun, it's joyful. Anyways, a Geordie Grenadier, a Kalenia infiltrator, a bird-like alien medic walk into a spaceship hangar, and that's just the social lobby of the game, where players can hang out with friends, customize loadouts, collect rewards, and queue as a party for matchmaking. Joining them are a mushroomy monster, a spec up sniper, two flavors of deadly robot, and their Korean engineer slash cook. They are led by their fearless leader, Captain Cass, who doubles as the in-game announcer and is voiced by the um, inimitable, I don't know how to say that. It's casted by Jane Lynch, like actually. So I was playing the game and I heard her voice, like the lady from Glee, and I was like, what? This lady sounds like the lady from Glee, and I was like, man, like that's pretty good. Like it actually sounds. No, it's her. So that's pretty funny. Variety, continuing, variety is the spice of life in multiplayer shooters. We went the extra mile to ensure that we had a diverse cast voicing characters in an interesting galaxy. So that was kind of the soul of the game. I Now we're going to go the description. Captain Eleanor Cass has assembled a heist of crew of epic proportions. So that's kind of heist, larcenauts, and then it's in space. So aughts, think of astronauts. So larcenauts, heist, space. That's kind of the theme. Um, so these specialists come from all walks of life and are the best in the galaxy, but they need intel and supplies, and there will be competition every step of the way. Choose from 8 different specialists with each unique weapons and skills to compete in a thrilling 6v6 match. Game modes include territory style refuel, so it's like objectives, capture the flag style uplink, you grab something and you bring it to the place and you capture it, and classic team deathmatch across 4 different maps. Each specialist features a quick skill, a deployed item, and a deployed item that players can use during combat. Advance your specialists through power slates, cosmetic upgrades, and more in the progression system. What are power slates? With power slates, players can modify the abilities and attributes of specialists to further customize the specialists and their loadouts. They give you stat upgrades and to your abilities, your gun, things like that. So now kind of getting into the history of Larcenauts. And again, this is all coming from the press release from Larcenauts. So you can go to larcenauts.com/press release. You can find all this with maps and pictures. And so now we're at the history. The inspiration for the Larcenauts came from the desire to create the best multiplayer hero shooter in VR, which I think they have. The team is composed of developers who have worked on some of the biggest multiplayer shooters in history, and we want to continue exploring the interesting weapons and gameplay that we created in Farpoint, which is which is their other game. Larcenauts gave us the chance to explore that gameplay that is only possible in VR, and we happily accept that opportunity. Also, playing games in VR is a unique joy, and we wanted to create a game that is fun as the medium deserves. While we couldn't meet in person due to the pandemic, we were able to be together in VR, larcenauting on Mycos with and against each other to much delight. So that's kind of the history, a little note from the developers and the team, and then just kind of here's like some like very straightforward like this is what to expect in the game. Best in class competitive hero shooter in VR, rich cast of characters in a playful setting, character progression and stat upgrades, tactical team based gameplay, 6v6 multiplayer with 8 specialists, 3 different game modes with 4 different maps, fully voiced characters and larger than life personalities, unique skills and abilities and customizable loadouts, cross platform. So it's a in my opinion it's a very good potential for an actual esport. I am very interested in esports. The Delegati is an esports organization specializing in VR. So of course we love this. It's a great game. So I want you guys to, I'd love for you guys to come check it out. There is a Larcenauts Discord, and then the Delegati have a Discord as well. The Delegati will be forming teams to compete once private lobbies come out.
Hey, my name is Chase Summer, and I am the architect of the Delegati. It is a VR esports organization, so feel free to join us in the Discord. We're pretty new, but we'd love to have you, especially if you like VR. So, I wanted to do an introduction on a game that I've been enjoying lately. It's very new. It's called Larcenauts, and it's a first-person shooter, and there's objectives and classes and all that stuff. This is the loading area or the lobby. As soon as you buy the game and then you're finished with the tutorial, you'll be dropped in here. It's pretty cool. It's kind of got spaceship vibes. Kind of going off the name of Larcenaut. Think of like astronaut, and then Larcen is kind of theft. So I think it's supposed to be like a kind of rugged space feel where there's some thieves and stuff roaming around. But yeah, so this is the lobby. As you'll see, there are challenges right there. There are notoriety, social, store, but the biggest thing really right now is that there is a play station. So this is where you go to play. When you go here, you need to, a side note actually is that in order to do things in all these, what do you call it? Screens, you need to pick up this remote. It's a little bit weird, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that big of a deal. But you pick up the remote and then you can join things. There's training, all modes. I'm assuming, well, not assuming, in the future there's going to be private lobbies, so I'm sure you're going to find that here. But usually, every day, you're probably just going to want to come in here and join a game. But the second most important thing besides joining a game is probably your loadout. So I haven't unlocked everything yet, but here is where you're going to find all of the characters. Currently there are 8. There is a new one coming out soon. Again, you can find everything in the roadmap on Larcenauts. Apparel.com. They have a roadmap where the developers kind of show, what's coming next. But you've got a speedy kind of flanker. You think of Tracer. That's what she reminds me of. A traditional kind of sniper dude. He's got traps, a sniper. He goes stealth. Your tank with lots of shields. This is your medic, who kind of leeches. You can, you have a submachine gun, a pistol, and this transfuser. She's my favorite because I tend to play support roles. Arc, which is a straight up assault type character. So if you like getting most kills, that's probably who you'll play. Boson reminds me of Diva from Overwatch, and she is kind of, I kind of view her as an off tank. So she can put on this floating armor that makes her really strong, and it's actually really strong. Or she could put them out as like a turret, but I see her more as like a off tank, whereas Thal might be a main tank. And she's got an assault rifle, which actually does a lot of damage. Salters is, I don't have them all unlocked, but she has like a grenade launcher, so she's probably more like a Junkrat if you think of Overwatch. Haven't played her yet because I don't have it unlocked. And then Vod is a melee kind of character, so he just goes around and punches you. He does a ton of damage. So one thing, little quick tip that I figured out, or not figured out but learned, was Evander. He's got these snares. So if you put the snares down when you're facing a VOD, a pretty good counter because the VOD will run into the traps and you can just headshot them. But yeah, so this is where you're gonna find all the characters, your loadouts. There's progression in the sense of you can buy these plates. They give you better upgrades for certain things. There's levels that give you more experience. See there's experience. But yeah, there's character progression. So beyond play, the second most important thing is probably loadout. And then the rest is kind of pretty equal between loot and social. So loot is, it's a loot box. If you go here, click it, and then, one second, I'm lagging out. One moment. You just pick up the box, you get it. So a lot of people refer to Larcenauts as like the VR Overwatch. It's because there's a ton of things that remind you of it. Loot boxes, characters, stuff like that. Notoriety is you just unlock things by, playing your characters. It's just, I don't know. I guess I haven't fully understood it. So as a new player, don't worry. You'll unlock some things. You come over here, like new chi loadout, character skin. It's kind of similar to loot, but I think it has to do more with your score, where loot is just experience related. Social, where you want to come play with friends, so you can create a lobby, and then you can invite people to your lobby. You can go to your recent crew, other lobbies, stuff like that. And then we got store. I don't know. I don't know if this. I think it changes with time, so everything is kind of limited. But you buy things here. So I have 4,300 solars. I think solars is the name of the currency. That's where you can buy some stuff. So just a standard store. Challenges. This is probably pretty cool. I'd recommend you do challenges if you're new because it forces you to learn other characters, and that's really important when you're first starting a game. To help you figure out, what you like, what you don't. So, you have daily challenges, weekly challenges. As you can see, I've been playing Chi. I enjoy the Chi the most, but when I play later, I'm probably gonna listen to my own advice and do some other things here. Well, okay, yeah. So then, I think that's it. Some other like beginner things that you might want to know. There's settings. So if you press the left settings button, you go up to here, you go to options. So turn type is, so right now I have it smooth. That means I can, if you look at my right hand, I can move the joystick and turn, and I can also, turn with my head. I like this. I like doing both because that way I can turn, but I can also make it go faster with my joystick, but you can change it to like a small step, which means it like see that it like skips, and you can change like the size of that, so you can go like 45. I'm assuming it means 45 degrees, right? So they're bigger jumps. Again, I use smooth, or you just turn it off completely so you only are moving with your body. That seems like more of like an immersive feature. Maybe, you know, with competitions, private lobbies, they may have, you know, certain things where you have to go full immersive, and like use your body entirely instead of using the remote. But for now, I use smooth. I like it. I'd probably recommend, I don't know if I have a recommendation on this one. I think this was more personal taste. I just found that smooth is better for me. Turn speed, I think it was originally like down here, so that has to do with how fast you turn with the joystick. I like it up all the way, but I have been playing games for a little while now, so I'm used to, you know, faster paced things. If you're new, probably keep it low. Quick turn, I think that just means you can just 180 if you so choose. Vibration, tunneling, this is if you get kind of motion sickness. I think it's supposed to help. So see how it makes like a circle around my screen, kind of closes out. So those are some settings for people that get motion sick. I think it's actually default mask on, so you could turn it off. I turn it off because I like to see the full range of the field when I'm playing. But yeah, and then player height, I am 6'4", so I put it to 6'4". You can change the units here. Confirm that. I don't know if that actually has a huge difference. I couldn't really tell because I put it to like 7'1" and it didn't change anything. But I don't know. Visualize controller. I think that just makes. I don't know. I don't know if it's just not working, or like or just sometimes it shows your controller. I don't like that because I like to be somewhat more immersed. So these are some ones that I really wanted to know when I first started. Hip holster. This is a big one. So like where your guns are, that's your hip holster. So I want to show you why this is probably important. So for Chi, I have dual wield. But if you want, like, I don't know, let's go to Evander. So if you have see the pistols on the left, but say if you're right-handed, you want it to be on the right instead. So you pick up with your right hand, not your left. I guess you can go sideways. I didn't even realize that. You would want to go options, controls, and hip holster right. And what that does is put it on the right. So that was something that I wanted to know right away. So if you're new, make sure to go in here and test things out. I'm gonna switch that back just because I had it there. Dominant hand, left or right. So if you're righty, do that. If you're lefty, change it to left. Aiming mode, there is like I think it's supposed to be a immersive feature, and by immersive I mean they came out with a bunch of features that make you feel like you're more in the game, opposed to just using a joystick and such, which is kind of like the whole point of VR, right? To make you feel more immersed. So what the pivot feature does is, what you do is you go here and you could pivot the gun. So your the hand that's in the front acts as the pivot, and then the one in the back you move it. I don't use this, but again, it's more immersive, so it feels more real when you do. Again, I could see this being like a requirement in a competitive competition with all full immersive features, enabled or required. The reason why you may not want it is because it's harder, right? It's harder to shoot people. You have to actually kind of use it like a real gun, opposed to, well, I'll show you. When I turn off aiming, like the pivot, so standard is like no pivot, I can go here and I can aim just like a pistol. Does that make sense? and it's showing my controller. I don't know why. I think I have it off. Anyways, so hopefully you understand the difference. When you have it in pivot, see how my first hand has no influence. I'm throwing it on the screen, like it doesn't matter with the gun, and you can just aim it. I like this just because it's faster, right? It's way faster and way easier just to aim a single hand. This one, as long as I'm just holding on to the weapon, it stays on, so it's easier. So pivot and the immersive features are more immersive, they're more real, and they're more difficult. And the reason why people don't always use them is because when you're in, high intensity moment and you're shooting people, you may not want to have the extra difficulty, right? So again, they're great, they're fun. You should go ahead and play with them. I actually use an immersive feature with let's see here. I use an immersive feature for sprint. So standard, without immersive, so standard is you sprint. So I'm going forward right now. You sprint with the left click joystick, right? And this is kind of common to any COD game, Call of Duty. Left click on a joystick is sprint. And then you click it again to stop, or if you're sprinting and then you shoot, it stops. I don't like this sprint, and I actually like the immersive sprint, and I feel like it's easier because that you need to either tap stop sprint. Okay, I'll show you. So I'm sprinting, and I need to tap sprint again to stop sprinting. Does that make sense? So when you're running into a gunfight, having to click that again in order to be able to start shooting, or just to stop, sometimes is a little bit awkward for me. So what I like is the immersive feature, and I feel like this is an immersive feature that actually makes it easier. Is when you have a gun, when you have it down, like point your controllers down, you just start sprinting, and then you put it up, and then you stop, right? So I feel like that's way easier than having to click another button. And clicking another button may seem simple, but when you're in a gunfight, when you're clicking all of these buttons at the same time, adding another button makes it more complicated. But when you're just moving to start shooting again, it's not a button, so it's less confusion. It makes more sense for my body, so that's why I recommend that. Graphic. So let me see. Just make sure I went through that here. Reload. One other thing, an immersive feature. This makes it so when you reload, you have to click the reload, the cartridge, and put it in, and then do this, right, and pull it back, right? And so that's really cool, right? It's really cool. It's really immersive. It's like you're actually reloading. Why you may not want to do this, again, is because it makes it more difficult. When you're in battle and you have to reload and it's really intense, watch this. So I can just reload by pressing a button and do nothing, right? So it's way simpler, it's way more efficient, it's faster, and you don't have to think about it. So what are the benefits? Just more immersive, to do immersion. Again, like I keep saying with all these features, I could totally see an immersive tournament where, like, in order to play, all the immersive settings are going to be on, so you have to manually reload, you have to manually sprint, you have to do all of these things, and that would be really cool in my opinion. The only reason why I don't do it is because when you're playing against other people that have all these fast and quick and easy versions, it just makes it hard to compete, or harder to compete. And so it's like, well, why would I put myself under that hindrance? Options, let's see here. So I think we got through everything here. And these are, and I'm kind of just going through as though you're new, just kind of like, I'm relatively new to the game, and these are things that I found really helpful, and maybe that I wish that I knew when I first started. Graphics, you can change the graphics. This may be a PC VR thing, so I'm actually playing this through my PC and air linking it to my Oculus. but you can do this on the PC version. Audio, I don't know, just normal audio things. I was told the cool hint is that you can see who's actually a bot in your game, or who is not a bot, who's real, by going into audio and seeing their names. But I don't really care if there's bots. It's whatever. Color schemes, all these things. So, those are the main things that I'd recommend you learn when you're first, or just, those are things that are good to know when you first start. Another quick little tip is these things. So these things, I don't know what they're like actually called, but when you look up at them and then you press up on your joystick, it'll teleport to you. So I think I just tried the left joystick. I think it's just the right one. Let me try again. Yeah, it's just the right one. So the right joystick, look at it, boom. These are really important in the game. It's how you maneuver a lot.
Strategic
You can totally just mess with people and just constantly do these things. It needs to be lit up. See how it's not lit up? You can't do it. I'm pressing it, you can't do it. See right now? There you go. It's lit up now, I can do it. Also, it's got a audio cue. Just listen real quick. The ba-dum. Bum. See? So you're gonna want to use those a lot in the game. And yeah, so that is just kind of an intro on just overall, when you first get into the game, what to expect. Now I'm gonna go into a game and play around a little bit. But yeah, hopefully you found these things educational, helpful, and please, make sure to comment on anything you feel like I missed. Maybe I can make another video, but yeah, feel free to add me in Oculus. I'd love to play with you sometime. My name is Chase Summer with no space, so you just add me, we could play. And again, I am forming a VR esports organization called the Delegati. We have a Discord. All that stuff will be in the link below. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, and we'll play some together sometime. All right, bye.